The world buzzes constantly, a cacophony of voices, screens, and distractions that never seem to pause. Amid this relentless noise, silence often feels like a forgotten art, a fleeting moment in an ocean of sound. But for those who dare to embrace it, silence reveals it. Please subscribe my YouTube channel and press the bell icon for new update. Self, not as emptiness, but as a reservoir of profound power. In a quiet village nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, there lived a woman named Elara. She was known for her serene demeanor, a calmness that seemed unshakable even in the face of adversity. Many in the village wondered about the source of her tranquility, whispering tales of mystic practices or hidden knowledge. But Elara would only smile when asked, her silence speaking volumes. Elara's home was modest, perched on the edge of the forest. She spent her days tending to her garden, a lush patch of earth bursting with life. Lavender, mint, and rosemary filled the air with their soothing fragrances, while the soft rustling of leaves created a natural symphony. It was here, in the embrace of nature, that Elara found her solace. Her mornings began with moments of stillness, sitting beneath the great oak tree that had stood for centuries, its roots deep and unwavering. The tree knows the power of silence, she often thought. It stood quietly through storms and sunshine, bearing witness to the passage of time without a single complaint or boast. One day, a young man named Corin arrived in the village. He was a traveler weary from years of wandering in search of purpose. His eyes carried the weight of countless stories, but his heart felt empty. The villagers told him about Elara, hinting that she might hold the answers he sought. Intrigued, Corin approached her. "You have a peace I've never known," he said. "How do you find it?" Elara looked at him, her gaze steady and kind. She said nothing at first, letting the moment stretch until the rustling of the wind and the chirping of birds filled the space. Finally, she spoke. "Sit with me," she said simply. Confused but curious, Corin obeyed. They sat beneath the oak tree in silence. At first, Corin fidgeted, his thoughts racing. The silence felt heavy, almost oppressive. He wanted to speak, to fill the void, but Elara's calm presence held him back. Gradually, he began to notice the world around him. The rhythmic sway of the branches, the warmth of the sun on his skin, the distant hum of bees. Slowly, the noise in his mind quieted. Days turned into weeks, and Corin continued to visit Elara. She rarely spoke, but her silence was never empty. It was a silence that invited reflection, that encouraged him to listen not just to the world, but to himself. For the first time, he began to hear the whispers of his own heart, the dreams he had buried beneath years of restlessness. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with hues of gold and crimson, Corin broke the silence. "I think I understand now," he said. "Silence isn't nothingness, it's everything. It's where truth lives." Elara smiled. "Silence is a mirror," she said. "It shows you who you truly are, without the distortions of noise." Inspired, Corin decided to stay in the village, dedicating himself to learning the lessons of stillness. He began to observe how silence could transform moments. In the fields, he worked alongside the villagers, finding joy in the unspoken camaraderie. In the evenings, he watched the stars, their silent brilliance, a reminder of the vastness of the universe. As Corin embraced the power of silence, he noticed changes within himself. He became more patient, more attuned to the emotions of others. He realized that words, though powerful, often fell short. A comforting hand on a shoulder, a shared glance, or simply being present could convey more than 1,000 speeches. One day, a storm swept through the village. The winds howled and the rain lashed against the rooftops. The villagers gathered in the community hall, their faces etched with fear. Corin stood among them, his calm presence a beacon of reassurance. He spoke few words, but his demeanor reminded them of Elara's wisdom, that even in chaos, silence could be a source of strength. After the storm passed, the villagers emerged to find their homes intact, the damage minimal. They began to see silence, not as an absence, but as a presence of force that anchored them in times of uncertainty. Years passed, and Corin became a part of the village's fabric. Elara, now older, watched with quiet pride as he carried forward the legacy of stillness she had shared. Her own journey, she knew, was nearing its end, but she felt no fear. She had lived in harmony with the world, and her silence had spoken her truth. When Elara passed away, the village gathered beneath the great oak tree to honor her memory. No grand speeches were made. Instead, they observed a moment of profound silence. It was a silence filled with gratitude, love, and the enduring echoes of her wisdom. Corin, now a mentor to many, stood beneath the tree, his heart full. He understood that Elara's greatest gift had been teaching them to listen to the earth, to each other, and to the depths of their own souls. And so, the village thrived, guided by the power of silence. In their stillness, they found clarity. In their quiet, they discovered strength. And in their hearts, they carried the legacy of a woman who had shown them that sometimes the loudest truths are spoken without a single word.